Indisputable brought you a story about an unarmed man who was fatally shot by Virginia police officer. This cop spent 2 days in jail before the governor decided to pardon him of this killing. Here's the body cam footage, and I have the update.
Got the radio. Urban 2, hold the channel for us. Bloomingdale flat lot. Black male. Going towards 7 from Fashion. He's crossing over. Crossing over, guys. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Going into the woods. Through the woods. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Stop reaching! Stop reaching! Shots fired.
Put it up full mass. The cop was actually convicted, but was acquitted on the more serious charge of manslaughter, but convicted of reckless firearm use. The black male was 37 years of age, Timothy McCree Johnson. You're looking at also next to him the Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. Johnson was suspected of the high crime of stealing sunglasses. This was from a mall in Northern Virginia, according to the allegation. The cop is Shifflet. So Officer Shifflet chased the 37-year-old out of the shopping center into a wooded area. Body camera footage reportedly showed that Officer Shifflet yelled, quote, "Get on the ground," as he was chasing Johnson, then immediately opened fire 2 seconds later. The cop was heard telling Johnson to, quote, "stop reaching," after assuming that Johnson was putting his hand in his waistband, according to his allegation. But Johnson can be heard responding, quote, "I'm not reaching for nothing. I don't have nothing." Once again, reminder, officers have gone on record and said they are trained to say stop resisting, stop reaching when nobody is resisting and when nobody is reaching, because if they established that they believed that somebody was reaching, that they believed somebody was resisting, the standard is subjective to their belief. So they're trained to do this regardless if the person is actually engaged in reaching or in some level of obstruction. Shifflet was heard yelling, "Stop reaching." October 2024, Shifflet was then convicted of reckless firearm use, but was acquitted on the more serious charge of manslaughter, likely covered by his uniform. He was sentenced to serve 3 years in prison, but he only spent 2 nights in custody before the governor decided to vacate his sentence. At the time, the governor called Shifflet's sentence unjust, zero accountability. So the ex-deputy Wesley Gonzalez Shifflet received a full pardon on January 15th from Governor Youngkin, just 2 days before the outgoing governor's term was set to end. And that's because the governor coming in said, if he don't do it, I'm going to do it. Okay? A jury convicted this man. A jury of his peers convicted him. He's a cop. You know how hard it is to get a conviction of a cop? There's more, according to Governor Youngkin, quote, "The deadly force used by Sergeant Wesley Gonzalez Shifflet on February 22nd, 2023 was both lawful and consistent with the department's policy and training," Youngkin wrote in his pardon. Shifflet was convicted in 2024 of reckless firearm use in the killing of Timothy McCree Johnson in Northern Virginia, though he was acquitted of the manslaughter charge. Johnson's mother rebuked Governor Youngkin for commuting the sentence, calling the governor's actions egregious, malicious, and prejudiced. And they were. Fairfax County Commonwealth's attorney also called the decision, quote, garbage, and accused Youngkin of making a decision purely driven by political motives. That's right. Quote, Glenn Youngkin's decision to commute this sentence is garbage. It's absolute garbage. It's outrageous. It's outrageous because it has nothing to do with the law or the facts. It has everything to do with Glenn Youngkin's political ambition and trying to get on Donald Trump's radar, said the Commonwealth Attorney of Fairfax County. Rule of law? No, they are okay with violating rule of law as long as it supports their political narrative, and their political narrative is their proxy to power. So while you thought maybe perhaps they were conservatives, no, they are, well, being guided by one ideology, and it's the ideology of power. That's it. Nothing else. All right. Thoughts and prayers with the family. I'm sure this was hard to deal with.